Welcome to the Bookbibuli podcast. When Grace Bernard discovers her absentee millionaire father has rejected her dying mother's pleas for help, she vows revenge and sets about to kill every member of his family. Readers have a front row seat as Grace picks off the family one by one. And the result is as gruesome as it is entertaining. It's a wickedly dark romp about class, family, love, and murder. But then Grace is imprisoned for a murder she didn't commit. And today we have Suhani with us, who is going to talk about this book. Hello, Suhani.
Hi, I am Suhani and I'm 16 years old. Talking about my interests, I'm very passionate about art, music, and reading. Psychological thrillers are my most favorite thing in the world to read.
Well, let's start with the subject matter of the book. How do you think the author has handled the delicate subject matter of the book, especially the title?
The author handles the delicate subject matter of this book with a bit of ease. As in, when usually one talks about hatred against disappointing parent or family member, it is done so while playing the victim card and acting all helpless. But here, the character, that is Grace, is seen taking revenge against the people who have hurt her, with Grace as her name suggests. The author has really handled this with expertise as she describes murder and pain.
I really have to ask you this now, Suhani. What did your family say when they saw this book in your hands? And if you have escaped that fate, imagine if they would have seen you.
Well, my family did not get a chance to see this book in my hands, as I had finished reading it in a short few hours. But one of my friends did. She thought that I had gone crazy and I'm planning to kill everyone in my family and assumed that this book was a step by step guide on how to murder your parents. If my family had seen me reading this book, they would have more or less had the same reaction, but I reckon they would have been even more horrified. I'm pretty sure that they would have had secret discussions after that regarding whether to send me to therapy or not. I also think that they might be doing that right now as they listen to this podcast.
True that, with a title like How to Kill Your Family, the family is obviously ready to submit you to therapy. But moving on from there, which character actually stood out to you? Who was particularly compelling or well developed?
The character who stood out to me as compelling or well developed was always Grace. From the beginning of chapter 1, there is something about her that instantly charmed me. I know maybe calling a killer or a murderer my favorite character sounds dangerous, but everything around Grace is so graceful. She's dangerous and reminds me of snow, beautiful but also cold. Grace was instantly appealing to me as a character, also because of her determination to take revenge against people that have wronged her, and she is just a very strong character overall. I also admire her unapologetic cruelty.
Tell us, which passages or moments in the book have you found especially memorable or impactful for that matter?
Well, the moment that I found impactful was fairly small. In the starting of the book, when Grace is in prison for committing a murder, that she didn't commit. In this scene, she describes how people send her letters of admiration, despite knowing that she is a murderer. They admire her for her beauty and praise her because of it. She ridicules them for that. The author has addressed a very big issue here, that beautiful people are often written off for horrible crimes that they have committed. No matter how bad of a person they are, their beauty is many a times given a priority and they're judged and perceived according to it. So that is something that I think is to be further pondered upon.
You have been part of Bookbibuli for the longest time. You've been a podcaster, you've been with us on events, and it's always been a pleasure to have you with us. And we would like to know from you what you think about the North Star program of Bookbibuli.
The North Star reading program is comprehensive reading program which stands as a beacon of intellectual growth and community engagement. With an innovative fusion of diverse mediums, including captivating blogs, insightful podcasts, and enriching events, the program it transcends conventional boundaries, offering a multifaceted approach to learning. Through thoughtfully curated content, the blogs serve as intellectual springboards, igniting curiosity and sparking meaningful discourse. The podcasts, crafted with expertise and passion, transform mundane moments into captivating learning experiences, seamlessly weaving together narratives that inspire and inform. Furthermore, the events serve as vibrant hubs of intellectual exchange, fostering connections and collaborations among eager minds.
Well, this book was supposed to be a roller coaster ride of surprises. What were the plot twists or surprises that caught you off guard?
There was not exactly any plot twist that actually caught me off guard, because I had more or less tried to predict where the story was going. And I was accurate on my part. You see, I have this habit of trying to predict or trying to understand the plot before it even begins. It helps me delve into the story, into its depths better. But I have to admit that the ending did surprise me because I had really thought that Grace would succeed. Now, I can't say more about this without ruining the plot.
Well, tell us, how did you feel after finishing the book? What did the book invoke in you?
I felt kind of frustrated after finishing the book. So, honestly, it was a bit sad and a little disappointing because Grace had occupied my mind and I wanted her to succeed. I felt a bit empty as well because the book got over, but mostly enjoyed the read. Grace is a perplexing and amusing character, and parting with her has been hard. It's a thrilling book that is a bit messed up, but it showcases the true dark nature of human mind. If I could go back to reading it for the very first time, I would. This book invoked in me a strange hunger to make an impact somehow and fight for myself and those I love.
You know, when a book hits a market, it often lands up in the lap of a lot of people who might or might not like it. But who do you think is the target audience for this book?
The target audience of this book are certainly not very young children. Maybe older teenagers or young adults would be suitable for this read. This is because this book contains a lot of sensitive or delicate matter that is complex and unravels the dark side of human mind.
So, say, would you recommend this book to others? And if yes, then to whom?
Yes, I would certainly recommend this book to others because if it because it has a fun but a little bit messed up plot that is dark, twisted, and funny. Grace is both beautiful and a serial killer who has lost everything, and her thirst for revenge, strong determination, and hungry nature is utterly charming. I would recommend this book to older teenagers or anyone who is looking for some dark humor.
Thank you so much, Suhani. That was a wonderful session.
I would like to thank you all for listening to me, and I would like to also thank Richa Auntie for inviting me to her podcast. Thank you so much.
I have killed several people, some brutally, others calmly, says Grace. And yet, I currently languish in jail for a murder I did not commit. When I think about what I actually did, I feel somewhat sad that nobody will ever know about the complex operation that I undertook. Getting away with it is highly preferable, of course. But perhaps when I'm long gone, someone will open an old safe and find this confession. So there, folks, you have Grace, who at the tender age of 28 has calmly killed 6 members of her family. Well, I was drawn to this book by the promise of an anti-heroine, as I think a lot of us are intrigued by morally ambiguous female characters. However, Grace's character fell short of expectations. It was evident that the author hadn't fully developed her, leaving her portrayal really muddled. She seemed to lack depth and allure as compared to a lot of counterparts that we have seen. And the twist ending, it left me disappointed. It made the entire book feel rather useless or futile, if I may say so. And now it's time for the Bookbibuli read record. The language might be appealing to millennials, unfortunately, not to others. The book tries hard to be witty, sometimes a little too hard. By the middle, it works itself into a rant against rich people, poor people, gay people, fat people, old people, and even people who love frogs. And the only person who's ranting is Grace. While I'm all for enjoying a dark thriller, this is not it. Definitely would not recommend it for children or teenagers, maybe young adults or new adults. However, if you really would like to read something dark, humorous, and funny, I would recommend Killing Eve and My Sister, the Serial Killer. Also, you can try Dial A for Aunties. Until next week, better read, read better.